I'll start with some grim statistics. 65 million girls are not in school today. 65 million. That's 1 in 4 in the developing nations. I think most of us know, but I'll repeat it anyway. When girls stop going to school, we get teen pregnancies, we get high infant mortality rates. These girls do not have the skills to support themselves, and their young families gain considerable income, and it puts a strain on families, communities, and the economies of countries. There's a study that says an increase in 10% of girls going to school increases the GDP of a country by 3%. So why are we not doing enough in this sector? There's yet another staggering statistic, and that is close to my heart because I live in Africa and I've seen this throughout. These are global statistics. One says that women earn, or rather get 60% of the food in the world. 50% of the food, 60% of the work. Yet they only get 10% of global salaries and own just 1% of the assets. These are the same women who reinvest whatever they earn, 90% of that, back into the family, back into the community. And this is where, once I read this, is where I got passionate about doing this work that I'm about to tell you. Even in today's world where technology seems to be a qualifier and equalizer for everyone, women make up for the minority users of the internet and using technology. Yet I think everyone today here knows that technology and access to technology and going online is a way to solve problems for the rest of the world. As introduced, my name is Suraj Shah. Really happy to be here in Dublin. Beautiful city, and I'm not saying this because I want the Dubliners to clap every time I say that, but I actually put it on Facebook 2 days ago. First time ever. This journey started in November last year when Margaret Burgraff, whom you may have heard yesterday, Intel Vice President, came over to South Africa to help us get some focus on the women target audience that we've been working with. And Margaret then said, I must get you to come and talk at Inspirefest. The rest was history, and contacted me, talked to me about it, and said, you must come. So here I am. There's a great statistic Margaret gave out, and I don't know the actual figures, but she did say something. Growing up in Ireland, she said almost every month or every so often, she used to put some of her pocket money in the church to take to Africa and help development projects in Africa. So I think a lot of this may relate to a lot of the Irish people here. As an organization, Intel, we actually believe that access to education and access to technology is actually a basic right. In 2012, we funded a global research paper by Dalberg Development Global Advisory people. It's called Women in the Web. The statistics out of this report were a bit shocking. It said 25% less women than men go online. In sub-Saharan Africa, that figure soars to 45%. That's right, 45%. Almost twice as many men than women use technology in sub-Saharan Africa. Now, 90% of the women that we had interviewed in that report, who are the internet users, actually said that the use of internet, going online, was as much as a human right than, like education. So they actually discarded the theory that going online is a luxury. The report also stated that if we get 600 million women, which is reducing the gap by 40% online, it would increase an estimated $13 to $18 billion in GDP for 144 countries. What happens when women get online or get connected? We know for a fact, and studies have shown, that when they access technology, they empower themselves, they empower their families. But here's where the results come in. 70% of the women actually say that they found it liberating being online. 85% of them said it gave them more freedom. So already, when going online and getting connected, the women have a sense of self-confidence, self-assurance, a sense of identity that they didn't have before. Almost half of those interviewed said they had applied online for a job. 30% of them actually said they had gotten incremental income using the internet. Besides this, the access to a whole lot of information, to healthcare, to education resources, to financial information, to e-government services, everything adding up is creating, the opportunity for women to better themselves rather than wait for the state or anyone else to sort of help them get there. I think it was Shelley Porges yesterday who was out here and was talking about Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Steve Jobs. And she said, imagine if all these three had come from Africa and that they had sisters. Do you think their sisters would have had the opportunity to do what these gentlemen have done in the world? I would like to say yes, and I'm confident that it is a yes when you see what we're opening up, and not just as Intel as an organization, but everyone coming together, what we're opening up for women in Africa. To address this issue of growing needs to get online, to address this gap, reducing this gap, we launched a program called Intel She Will Connect, launched at the CGI in September 2013. And the idea is to reduce this gender gap by a variety of actions that we want to do. The predominant reason why women in Africa, for example, are not going online is they don't know how to use technology. They simply shy away from it or don't have access to it. So we've created programs where we can actually get them to get them digitally literate and get them to sort of understand how to go online and what to do when they go online. There's another percentage of women who have smartphones or who have access to a rudimentary computer, it could be a desktop, could be a laptop, either at home or in the workplace, are still not going online because they don't see the reason or they don't see a need to go online. And this is where we've got, where we put in gender-relevant content into our training to show the women to sort of step out of their comfort zones and say, here's something what you can do when you go online. And finally, what we're also doing is we asked ourselves when we launched this program that, is this all about training? Do you want to tick the boxes and say we train, 5 million women in Africa by 2020? Or do we want to do more? And the overwhelming response within Intel was that, no, we need to do more. How can we connect the women that have gotten the skills through our program to the next thing? Income generation, possibilities of networking with other people, other like-minded organizations, go online and get out of their communities, reach out to other people and discuss ideas, get seed funding, etc. So we're also plugging in those kind of people, organizations to partner with us to sort of take them from stage of not knowing how to use a PC to actually going online and searching for resources. These are some of our partners. 1 year down into the program, we're just about completing in June, 1 year since we started this implementation of this program. We've so far trained 40,000 women on face-to-face digital literacy in Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. We're looking to escalate this further into the millions by introducing more programs, self-paced programs by an online learning platform, mobile apps, anything that will increase the pace of learning for these women. And what we're doing is we're putting our program components into the partners' programs so that there is a holistic approach to the empowerment of women. Take Rockefeller, for example. Rockefeller have sponsored something called Digital Jobs Africa, where people with enough digital skills can actually get jobs online to augment their income or make it their full stay income. So what we're doing is the women that we train, Rockefeller comes in and gives them more skills after the digital literacy kind of skills to make sure that they can actually start getting income online using the skills they've learned. In the 1 year that we've finished 40,000 women training, I've been to centers outside of Johannesburg in South Africa. I've been to centers outside of Nairobi in Kenya. I've been to centers in Nigeria. I met with women in South Africa who came out to me and said, I've now actually got a job since I got these skills. There's a League of Kenya women voters who actually know their rights as women voters, and also found out that in Kenya there is a law that says 30% of government tenders need to be filled by one gender. They didn't know this. But my best impact story that I've got so far is this lady called Jessica. She's a young woman. She lives in Lagos. She had actually gone to a government center to train as a hairdresser. When she got there, she saw that there was a class for free on teaching technology. She still wasn't too sure because she said she thought technology was for all the boys in her region and that's what they were doing. She didn't think technology would help her. But guess what? Because it was free, she was curious and she went in. Now, she's learned how to be a hairdresser, but she's also decided to advertise her job and her products through Facebook, Twitter, other social media. She's going online to check out and give the ladies different kind of hairstyles by looking at what is available out there. Last time I met her was literally in May, which was about a month ago. She actually said, oh, I've even managed to source products which are cheaper than where I used to get my materials from. These are just some of the very, very big, thousands of stories that coming through every day. And this is where I kind of wake up and I forget the job that I'm actually working for Intel on a job that's empowering women. When I go out there, I have to sort of steel myself from not sort of getting emotionally involved because the women, they come in and they just want to share with you. It's not a sense of we owe you, but they do want to share with you that, do you know, I used to do this, but now I do all this. Margaret, you remember, we were in South Africa and we were talking to these young ladies, very fashionable. Do you know what I mean? They were really fashionable. They knew what they knew social media. They had phones, they could do Facebook and Twitter, etc. But when we directed them to pointed questions on, do you know how to surf or go online and find out information, they didn't. But they were so willing to learn. And the great sense of community spirit, each of these girls, we interviewed about 240 women in a course of 2 weeks. Rural, semi-urban, urban, South Africa. Not a single one of them had a vision or a plan for itself that did not include the community. It had either taking the other girls with her along the business plans or doing something for the business. And this is where I think this program is going to succeed. This program is with partners. We want to make it into a movement than a program. And we want to play on that community spirit to get more and more women coming under us and getting trained. I'm going to request for a short video that says mostly what I had said, but I'd love you to listen to the last testimonies.
I am an African woman. I am an educated woman, a productive woman, a digitally connected woman. But I'm only one out of every 9 women in Africa who has access to the internet. In developing markets, there are 25% fewer women than men who are connected to the internet. In sub-Saharan Africa, this gap increases to 43%. Not being online or not taking full advantage of the benefits of being online means many women are being left behind. When women are connected, lives change. Economic and educational opportunities are more easily discovered. career prospects are improved. Women are able to access information useful to their everyday lives, and a community of support becomes available. Self-confidence grows. Self-empowerment is enabled.
I was trained by Intel company how to use the computer. Now I can help my kids to do their homeworks, and I know how to write my CV on the computer.
The first time I ever was online was when I was in university. The main thing that it's done to make my life easier is just help me connect with a whole bunch of different people. Having technology and having access to the web will help me keep in touch and be able to do my job properly.
We went to school last year for computers, and then that's how I get connected through the internet. Everything is just a click away. I could just go through my laptop or my tablet and get informed about anything that's happening around the world. It has improved my self-confidence a lot, and then I do connect with my colleagues, my friends, my family.
I'm currently a student at UNISA, and you don't really have to go in class because there is everything online. You submit your assignments online. Should I have not been connected, that would have been difficult. One gets to really access information, and you can actually do anything you want to do in life.
I am an African woman, and closing the gap starts with us. Through initiatives like Intel's Sure Connect program, we can help ourselves and our sisters stand tall, proud, connected, and empowered. We can help to improve digital literacy skills, expand understanding of technology, and create connections to health, government, educational, and entrepreneurship opportunities.
How will you get involved?
Share your story or contact us to get connected.
I want to leave you with one thing, because every time I stand up to talk, I get asked this, or people have this in their minds. Why is a man pushing for women's empowerment? I was in the State House, Uganda, with the First Lady, Madame Janet Museveni. She was screening the movie called Girl Rising. It's about a girls' education movement on how to get more and more girls into schools. And it was a room full of women ministers, women, high-ranking women officials in Uganda. And I was asked this when I was out there talking and pushing for let's start a women's education movement. Somebody asked me, said, why would you want to be involved in this? You're a man. Well, you know, what's your interest in this? And this was the first time I was asked this. This is going back in 2012. And the 5 seconds that it took me to sort of gather my thoughts as to why am I never thought about it. I just thought it's a good thing to do. Madame Janet Museveni said, listen here, if he as a man is out here pushing for women's education, you lot in this room have no excuse not to do your part. Thank you very much. Thank you.